Greetings, dear viewers. In this video, we're going to see a little bit of what Tarkov is all about, at least for my playstyle. Now, I've got two tasks that I have to do here, in the customs area of Tarkov. I have to, primarily, what I'm really here for is to nab a case of documents from an office building. And I've also got another task from the therapist. I think the office building one comes from Popor. But I've also got another task from the therapist to also clear out scavs in this area. I need to take down 15, and I've already got some of them taken down already. So that one's already partially done. But I've just spawned in, and I have to be very alert, because other players are running around trying to accomplish what their goals are, whatever their goals are here. And that could be anything from trying to complete their tasks to just hunting down other players, because some players do that just to try and get some more money, because they want to take your gear. Because in Tarkov, everything that you brought in can be looted off of you, and some of the stuff that you're carrying may not be the least expensive thing. So I hear some gunfire. And a bit earlier, I did see somebody running just above this wall by the train, and there he is. I don't know if he sees me yet. I can't quite see him through the barbed wire. I need to get a little bit of a higher vantage. I can stand on top of the car. I think he spots me. He takes a shot. He misses. He got me in the chest, and I think I took him down with those rounds. I apply a bandage to my chest by hitting my bandage hotkey, and that uses one of my 2 bandages that I brought in. You need to prevent bleeding in Tarkov. You can see there's a fresh wound debuff on my chest there on that screen. You need to prevent bleeding in Tarkov because bleeding will, well, slowly bleed you out, and it's incredibly perilous. Now it's time to reload my 60-round magazine and make sure everything is set the way that I want it. You'll notice that my body armor is already ticked down by about half or something close to that. So I just took a solid shot to the chest. My body armor probably saved me, or at least saved me a lot more damage than I would have taken. And I've got my 60-round magazine all loaded back up. I figured while I was waiting for that fresh wound to set, I might as well reload my 60-round magazine, which is what I did. Now I have to be careful to move slowly, because that is still a fresh wound. And I hear some gunfire coming off in the distance. That is still a fresh wound, and if I overexert myself, or if I run too far, too fast, I could open that wound again, and I'd have to use my second and last bandage that I brought in. Now, this building here, I'm not sure if this is the building where I need to collect the case. Incoming fire. I don't want to be stuck in here. I know that for certain. If a player is firing on me, I don't want them to close in and know exactly where I am in a small, enclosed little space. So I get out immediately. They may already be moving in toward me. I can't pay attention to the fresh wound. I have to move. I have to be speedy on this one. Fortunately, I don't reopen the wound, and I think by this point it's already set. I know there's a path through this warehouse, so I'll sneak through here. I spot a jacket on the right side, and I think I have a little bit of time to check it before I move on. There's nothing in the pockets, but sometimes there can be in those situations, or in those jackets. I need to get through this warehouse, maybe get a flank on the character, whether it's PMC or scav, or player or AI, in case they tried to rush my last known position. They may not have seen me exit that office. They may have fired on me, saw me run in, and then rush toward me. So I need to check on this. I need to make sure I eliminate the opposition, because I don't want anybody stalking me as I'm trying to do the tasks that I was tasked with and that I came here to complete. I do see a sniper on top of that building. It's a sniper scav. He's the usual spawn there. I'm not sure if he's the one that fired at me, but I'm pretty sure he may. I have a decent idea. I hit him, and he seems to fall off the edge, kind of. Sometimes you get lucky. If you can knock an AI scav off of the roof, then you can go collect their loot. So that's one thing that I want to check right now. I thought I spotted someone up there on the top of that building. but I did not. So I continue to move. At this point, I'd like to make a note about patch 0.10, 0.10, which just came out for Escape from Tarkov, and how the optimizations make this game feel very, very smooth, or they have for me at least on the couple of maps that I've played since the patch came out. It's a very new patch. So I'm coming to check on that scav to see if he did fall off the roof and I can loot him. But no, he managed to barely get caught up there in the corner. So I can't loot that scav, which is a real shame. There has been some gunfire here though, and I'm not 100% certain if the office that I need to collect the docs case is the one I was just at, or a different one much further down the road. So I'm checking my tasks here, and I noticed there's the Tarkov Director's Office at the Customs Terminal, and now I'm actually reading the description, and I noticed that it says I have to grab this docs case and bring it to the factory as the second part of the job. So first part of the job is on this map. Second part will be on the factory. And I recall from having played this at the beginning of the year, or way back, some time ago, that, yeah, that particular documents case is in the office building much further down the road. So I've got a lot of traveling to do. And survival is paramount in Escape from Tarkov. Obviously. You don't want to lose everything that you have on you, because it can be quite expensive to build out a whole new kit. And if you get taken down too many times in a row, things can start to get a little strained as far as the monetary taxation of having to rebuild all those is concerned. Take some fire coming from the right. I did spot him in my periphery. I didn't know if he was going to take a shot or not. I return fire. Oh, he gets another shot off on me. Hits my leg. While my medkit goes to work, I throw some more rounds out there. I need to... Oof, there's another shot. I need to replace the AI-2 I was using, but I accidentally put it right back into my secure container. I meant to hotkey it. I return more fire, trying to take him out. He's getting more and more shots off on me, and I've put a lot of rounds at him and seem to keep missing. The accuracy of these iron sights on this assault rifle isn't doing me any favors at that range, so I decide to simply leave. I think that's an AI scav who spawns there sometimes, and I don't think he can leave that position. I'd like to get the takedown for my task for taking down scavs here in this area, but I figure it's better to simply leave, because he's able to get those rounds off more clearly on me than I am on him. So I'll kind of shift the risk around here. Now I can properly bring my AI-2 into my pocket, hotkey it, and get it healing me. We're going to reload my 60-round magazine here, which is the one that I like to keep in my gun if I can. And now I load up my second bandage on my hotkeys, put it in my pocket from my alpha container, and then I hotkey it. So I've got 4 for the medkit, 5 for the painkillers, and then 6 for the bandage. This is my only bandage left and my only AI-2 kit left. So my medical supplies, I'm kind of at medium capacity compared to what I brought in. Now I put the 60-round magazine back in my assault rifle, and it's time to get moving. I'll just leave that scav where he was back at that tower. That's fine. And in the event that it is a player and he comes after me, well, I'll hopefully have disappeared to him by the time he runs and checks where I was. Now, this convenience store is a hot spot for players to come loot, so I've got to be very careful roaming around here. But there's also a medical van in this parking lot, and my meds, I've been using them essentially since I started this raid. So I'm going to look for any meds that may be left in the ambulance here, the medical van, but there's nothing for me here. Alright, so I need to make my way to the Tarkov Director's Office. It's much further down the map. I gotta be careful not to trip up on this barbed wire anywhere. Also, this is the spot where I took out that one player who shot me in my armor earlier and caused me to bleed. And yes, sure enough, I did get the takedown on him. I wasn't sure if I did, but I decided to come check to see what he's got on him. It's a little bit difficult to get around the geometry here to make sure I can go loot him. But I can go prone, and I can check. He's got a Mosin, the game's new sniper rifle. And this is his dog tag, showing he's level 34. He's a level 34 player, so that will sell pretty well. Check his pockets. The only thing he brought into this raid was the Mosin and some ammo. So I'm going to load that up into my rig. I'll examine his ammo. He's apparently got better Mosin ammo than is available to me right now, which is pretty cool. So I'll stack that up. So now I've got his gun. Which, if nothing else, if I can't pick up anything else, might sell pretty well. But it's at this point that I realize his Mosin has a scope on it. I check the chamber and see how much ammo is left in the weapon. Less than half. So I'll take some of his bullets, which are now my bullets, and refill the Mosin. Well, now, Mr. Sniper Scav, I have a scope. It's a little bit risky for me to turn around and double back for the one kill here. But I was given a job to do, and that job is to eliminate scavs here in this area. And I want to get that job done. Even though I'm here for the documents case, I might as well work on both jobs at once. And I say it's risky for me to double back because I have to run in places I've already been. And if anybody was tracking me, I might run right into them. And if other players just happen to be in other spots of the map, I might run into other players who are themselves doubling back or just trying to make progress. So yeah, basically the longer you stay in a raid and the more ground you cover, the more chances there are for you to run into opposition. Depends on how you do it, because speed and guile can also very well be used to avoid engagements. So there's always a bit of a double-edged sword here. So I'm approaching the location where that scav was firing at me, but I decided to keep my AR out for right now, just in case I run into somebody coming over these hills. And then I switch back to the Mosin, and there he is. There's the takedown. I could go try and loot him, but I don't think there's a way on top of that tower from the ground level for players who don't have a maxed out strength value for high jumps, for higher jumps. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe there is. Maybe there's just an easy way to walk up there. Again, I don't know. All I wanted was the takedown, and so I got it. And here I'm checking to make sure that works, or checking to see how many scavs I've taken out here at Customs. 9 of 15 so far. More than halfway done. Alright. Now, let's go back to where I was going through before and start making my way to the Tarkov Director's office so I can grab that documents case that we came here for. Running through the brush is rather noisy. But running through also means you get through this area faster. This can be kind of a heated spot. Some players like to take this back way with all the rustling, but you can't see them until you come through the brush, so you might run right into somebody like up close and personal who's running through that back way. But I managed to make it through without running into anybody. And I clear now onto another area of the map. Now this is a pretty open wooded area, and the dormitories are on the right. That area tends to have scavs. I'm here for the documents case, but I do have a sniper rifle now, and I do need to take down scavs, so maybe it's a good idea for me to see if I can find some scavs to take down here. I don't hear very much in the way of gunfire or other opposition. It might be safe to try and get a couple of takedowns. If I wanted to go straight for the case, I'd go left, but I go right toward the dorms. See if there are any scavs here. I thought I heard rustling in the bushes off this way. So I'll crouch and move silently. I'll be very careful not to make any sudden movements near all these bushes so I don't make a lot of noise. That's just the trash bag. I think I hear rustling again off to the left. And maybe something off to the right, too. I have no visual. It could be players sneaking around the dorms. It could be player scavs sneaking around the dorms. It could be PMCs, or it could be AI scavs. Either way, I feel like I'm a little bit too out in the open, so I back up very slowly. Knowing there's brush behind me, I turn slowly too, so I don't rustle the leaves. So I can try and get out, or maybe even just get a different angle. That scav did a great job of spotting me through those bushes. I used my med kit, and now it's time for me to leave. I used my second and last bandage that I brought with me, because that shot did apply the bleeding buff somewhere, so I had to stop the bleeding. And now, to make sure I don't open that fresh wound, I have to walk slowly out of here and be very careful. I'm healing up the whole way with this med kit. Incoming fire. From unseen opposition. I have to get behind here. But there's a scav! I've taken some fire. My right leg is bleeding. My chest still has a fresh wound. I have nothing to stop the bleeding with. I know I just took some fire from the other direction, from behind me, but I have to check this scav's pockets for medical supplies. I need to stop this bleeding. Checking the rest of his gear too for anything else I can use. He has painkillers, but those aren't going to stop bleeding. I'll check his tea bag as well. I do notice that my hydration is at 53 of 100 because I've been in this raid a while. So I'll need to drink this apple juice or whatever it is. Pomegranate juice? I need to drink this juice to keep up my hydration. I don't have time to start looting for money. I need to find medical supplies. Or I need to extract. I need to start moving toward extraction no matter what my goals are here now. I'm bleeding, and over a very short amount of time, that's going to eventually score a takedown on me on its own. I'm just gonna have to... I'll just fail this raid if that bleeding continues and I don't stop it somehow. There's more gunfire off to the left. I'm running. The fresh wound in my chest, well, that's just gonna have to set on its own, hopefully. Just gonna have to set even though I'm running. You'll notice in the top left, every part of my body is starting to... Well, every part of the little silhouette up there is starting to turn red. I do see a scav up ahead. These scavs, they're one of my only chances for finding bandages or ways to stop this bleeding. So I snipe him. And I can't be too concerned with the gunfire behind me and to my left. Even though I just let out a round, and that might attract attention, I have to rush. I have to gamble, take a chance, search this scav's pockets. His pockets have nothing. I'll take that mask because those can trade for armor later in case I do happen to make it out of here somehow. No meds on that first scav. What about this one? This scav has lamp. Another good item, maybe. I don't know. Checking for more meds. He's got milk, but milk's not meds. Ibuprofen might help. And a bandage. I can use this immediately on my right leg to stop the bleeding. Okay. I'm at 227 out of 435 hit points. I'm at about half. I've just stopped the bleeding. What's that? A scav trying to take cover. He let out a shot, but he fired straight up because his gun was too close to me. It was forced upward. Kick down this door. I'll use this little cubby hole of a room to try and regain my senses, or not even regain my senses. I don't even know what you would call this. Try to recollect myself here and get ammunition in my 60-round magazine and let that wound on my right leg set for a little while. All right. Now, I'm out of medkits and I'm out of bandages. The painkillers will make it so that if I do lose a leg, or if one of my legs gets blackened out, goes down to 0, I'll be able to still run because the painkillers will make it so I can ignore the pain. So I've got 3 of those, which is nice, but they're not going to help me heal the damage, and they're not going to help me stop bleeding if I if something else makes me bleed or if I open up a wound again. So while I wait for my wound to set, I'm checking my weapons, checking all my other gear, checking my ammunition, making sure I'm set otherwise. Check my 60 round mag. You'll also notice I'm out of bullets. All the bullets I don't have any spare. I've only got bullets in magazines now. I have nothing left to refill my magazines with. I thought I heard somebody sneaking off to the left. I'll train my gun where I know he's going to have to walk around to get to this room. The door to my right, though, I think can be breached. So I have to be careful about that, too. And I think I hear rustling out there, too. Not rustling, but somebody sneaking around. I think somebody knows I'm in here, or an AI scav knows that I'm in here. Or an AI scav might just be checking out the gunfire. Or somebody might just be checking out the gunfire. I have to go check. Sitting in there doing nothing isn't gonna get anything done. He gets a shot off with his shotgun. And now I'm bleeding again. As you can see in the top left, or you could have. You could see it on the little silhouette. And I find an IFAK on the pockets of the scab that was hiding by the door just a second ago. This IFAK is a fantastic little medical device, little medical kit. Put that in my pockets. And now, let's put it in the hotkey and let's start using it. First I'll heal up my head, because I don't want my head losing blood. That would be bad. Heal up my chest, and there's the bleeding on my left arm. I should have healed that first. But I will use this IFAK to close that wound, or to bandage up that wound. That's what makes the IFAK such a wonderful little device. It's got 300 points of healing. It only takes up one pocket space. It takes up one square, one tile. And it heals and bandages at the same time. It's a fantastic little find, and this is why you take down scavs and search their pockets. And maybe their tea bags and rigs if you're really, really desperate. Because maybe they might have meds in those. But yes, you can definitely check pockets for meds, and that's why you do that. This is Tarkov, scrounging for every last little bit. I just threw off my own blue, I'm not sure what armor class armor that is, but I just threw off my own armor to replace it with this scavs because it had one extra point of armor compared to mine. This is Tarkov, scrounging around, trying everything that you can to survive, picking up things where you can get them, bringing in what you can, being as prepared as you can be, of course, when you come into a raid, but being able to adapt and knowing where to find the resources that you need when you need them. So now my bleeding has stopped. I don't recall if I had one leg zeroed out. I think I might have had a leg zeroed out. But I took some ibuprofen earlier, so I was able to move normally. The ibuprofen wore off, and now I have to take those painkillers. But I've got 2 more left, which is okay. All right. So, wounded as I am, I've gotten a few scav kills. I'm not necessarily in fighting shape, and I can't really take a whole lot more damage that I can recover from because the IFAK is about halfway used up. So, I'm faced with a choice here. Well, really, in my mind, the idea is just get out. Go extract. I'm not too far from extraction. Go extract, come back, and then try the objective again. But as I'm moving through here, that idea is sort of shifting. Like, I'm checking my extraction points right now. I've got Crossroads, which is pretty close. It's just down the road from where I'm at because there's a road right up ahead, and it's just down the road. That's where extraction is. But that red building over there off in the distance, do you see that larger red structure? In there is the Tarkov Director's office. And I have a job to do here. I came here to get a job done. And you know what? I'm going to get that job done. Yeah, I may not necessarily be in the best fighting shape. I may be low on ammo, but I'm here to do a job. And you can't You can't turn back at the first sign of adversity. Sometimes you have to power through. And it's one's discretion that will tell you when you have to power through and when it's better to take a step back. This time, my discretion tells me to power through. So I'm going to the Tarkov director's office. There's gunfire coming from that direction. The director's office is another hotspot. Sprinting by this door, by this wall, I heard scavs yell because they noticed me. So they're on alert, but that does tell me that there are scavs in there too. So there are scavs on the way to the director's office, which means I'm going to have to get in some more fighting. And we know how much I'm not in fighting shape here. First scav by the truck. My game locks up on me as I open fire. Fortunately, the scav missed all of his shots. And fortunately, the game, I got control again in time to correct. A little bit of luck there, both ways. Bad luck that it hitched, and a little bit of good luck that the scav missed. And I gotta take out this one. Got the drop on that scav, and that completes the eliminate scavs job I was sent to do. Only one job left, only one task to do, and that's to collect that document's case. Alright, I'm in a little bit better shape here because I didn't take any damage, so I have a little bit of time to actually look through the loot. Now, this guy has a Saiga 9, and I'm low on ammunition for the AK-74N, which I brought in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unload my ammunition from my other two magazines. One only had 7, the other had 10. And I'm going to unload my 60-round magazine, and we're going to take these 17 rounds and put them in that one. So I unloaded my other 2 magazines worth of bullets, and I'm going to compile them all and put them into this one magazine. That way I don't run out of ammo when I need to spray a target or something along those lines. I'm just trying to be as best prepared as I can. Another thing is, this scav has a Saiga 9 that I can fold, because it's got a folding stock, and put it in my backpack, and I can take one of his 10-round magazines. It's true that this uses 9mm ammo, which isn't the most effective against armor and such, but if it comes down to me needing a gun, I can swap to that Saiga 9. Alright, so I've got a bit of ammunition left in my AK-74N. I've got a Saiga 9. Let's check how much ammunition I do have, actually. Less than half left in this 60-round magazine. So that could be like 20 to 30, something like that. Alright, there's another scav that I can check here. Ah, he's got an AKS-74U, and this uses the same caliber of ammunition that my gun uses. So, I'm going to search his rig. I pulled the magazine out of his gun and unloaded the ammo. Now I'll search his rig for the rest of his magazines, and I'll unload the ammo from those. This uses the same caliber as my AK-74N. So now I've just found myself a nice little stock of bullets. I unloaded all of those magazines, giving me 34, and now I'll slowly load 30 rounds into this 30-round magazine. And while you load up these magazines, you can search pockets and things like that. So I'll search pockets, I'll search the MBSS. You can do other loot management while you're loading these bullets. These matches might be useful. I think I can trade those for something. And I'll drop I'll take these glasses, I guess. Yeah. Alright, so I've got this magazine loaded up. Now I will load that exact specific magazine by holding R, which is the reload button, and using the mouse wheel to select that magazine specifically. So now I know I've got 30 rounds in my gun. I'll put my backpack in his backpack, that way I get another backpack out of the deal. Well, get another backpack out of this run, hopefully, if I'm able to make it out. You can put bags inside bags and stuff like that. And painkillers have worn off. This is my last set of painkillers. So now I have to get this job done and get out on these painkillers. Otherwise, I'm going to be hobbling slowly out of this raid if I make it much further. Alright, I know the director's office is upstairs. And I know this is typically a pretty heated and contested location. Fortunately for me, there's not a lot of players around this time. I do have the key to this office. I found this in a previous raid. So I'll use the key and I'll get inside. Now, these two rooms do have a lot of things that I can loot, but these painkillers aren't going to last forever. So I have to get in here and do what I'm gonna do. There's a safe in here, there's some jackets to loot, but I really don't have that time. And here's another key. This is kind of important, so I'll take the key and put it in my key bar to make sure it stays secure. And I'll check to see what key this is, too. East Wing Room 306 key, so that's for the resort on another map, on the shoreline map. So I could go looting through here. There's lots of stuff that I could loot, and there's more stuff in here. Now, specifically, the reason I'm coming into this room is because there is a bag in here that might have something that I can use. Something, hopefully it might have some sort of meds, like a bandage or an AI tube, but this isn't a medical bag, it's a sport bag, so it has less, like much less of a chance of having meds. I'm not even sure if sport bags have a chance of spawning meds. I think they do, but on the chance that they did, I decided to check it. But I don't have time to loot everything else. Like, I could have gone into that safe for the jackets, and you can even loot the PCs for computer hardware that you can sell or trade. But I don't have time for that. I got the documents. I grabbed them. I'm not sure if I commentated that. But if you'll go back, you'll see me actually nab the documents from just under the desktop. Like, that desk has a compartment on the left side, and you can set stuff on top of the compartment, but below the desktop, that's where the documents were. And I grabbed them, so I've cleared out the scavs that I need to clear out for that one task, and I've got the documents case. Despite the adversity that I faced here, I was able to adapt. I was able to gather resources where I needed them, when I needed them. I took the right courses of action to give me the best chance of survival, and then I was able to power through despite the intense urge to simply leave the raid early and come back when I'm more equipped. Despite that, I was able to come through, power through that, and complete both tasks. And that is what Escape from Tarkov is about, at least for my playstyle. And I feel like this might be the experience that a lot of players might be able to get out of Escape from Tarkov, especially newer players who are getting used to it and such. I don't know, maybe newer players have a much different experience than this, but there's my kill list right there. 9 takedowns, 8 of which are scavs, one of which was a level 34 USEC player, PMC, and I got that player's dog tags, which will sell pretty well. And here are the rest of the stats on this page here. Whew. So this was a pretty good one right there, and you can see, sniper kills too, that's pretty neat. You can see the number of headshots and overall accuracy there, 0.01. I don't know about that. I think that overall accuracy stat might be a little bit off. So here's the experience screen, and you can see how it itemized each point of experience and how well I tended to do overall in the raid, which is pretty nice. But I have to say, this one felt pretty good. And I think this was my first run of the night, too, on this particular session or in this particular evening. So that's pretty cool. Now I'll go to the trading menu, go to tasks for the therapist, select Operation Aquarius, good because this is the 15 scavs one, and those are the rewards I'll get, so I'll complete it. And that completes that task. Now, I'm not going to complete the other one for Prop War, the one with the documents case, because that one is not yet complete. Grabbing the case of documents was the first step. The next step is to take that and drop it off in the factory, which I don't do in this video because I haven't done that quite yet. But I do have another video about that, I think, on my channel. Just search Escape from Tarkov, because again, I've done this before. I've done this previously, which is how I knew where the office was and a lot of that other stuff. A lot of this game comes down to game knowledge and experience, which is pretty cool, as well as skill, which is pretty neat. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to show off this particular game because I feel like it shows off a lot of what Escape from Tarkov can be about. And I think it was just a fun run in general. All right, that's going to do it for this particular video. Hope you folks enjoyed this. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you folks next time.